So I've been asked by a few of my subscribers, how do I achieve rich skin tone when it comes to my subject? So I decided to make a really short video showing you how I get rich skin tones when it comes to my subject. So first things first, I use Affinity Photo. I do not use Photoshop or Lightroom. I've not decided to do a subscription, so let's jump forward. When you edit raw photos, you developed it, and this was my final image, but I didn't just stop there. So what I wanted to do is get a richer skin tone when it comes to the subject. If you notice the difference between my subject here, which is one of the bridesmaids at the wedding that I did. So I want to open this in Affinity Photos. Affinity, it's already processed, so it's a JPEG. You look at it, you might say it's a really good image from your average consumer, but as a professional, you know, I can dive in to make it more richer. On my left hand corner over here, we have my selection tool that look like a little cowboy rope at the rodeo. So what I do is I zoom in. So I want to find the most neutral part of this young lady's skin. I can actually go for right here, which is more natural because there's no makeup here. So I will go ahead, hit my selection tool, and then I am going to select a section here, which is that. So, and I'm using a Mac computer, so here I will hit Command J to create a layer, and I could call that layer skin, and then I hit Command D to deselect that mark. What I'm going to do here is create a profile. So I click on the skin, then I go up top to my filter, and I go to blur, and I hit average blur. So it creates a blur right where I made that select. Aim here is to get info on the color tones that are here. So what I do next is, if you notice on my right hand side, there are my layer section right here. Has the regular background, and then I have the pixel layer that I created, which is the skin. So I go here to file, and I go to place. So I downloaded a skin tone palette that has a lot of skin to it right here. So this skin tone palette here has a plethora of skin tones that I could work. So the aim here is to find the skin tone that look like the selection that I made. I usually put the skin layer above the palette. I can move the selected skin tone over the palette, but I like to zoom in a little bit so I can find the actual skin tone that matches this. The skin tone that best match, I'd say it's in between these two. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose this one. I will move the skin tone palette above the layer section where I keep all my information. Info is what you need, because if you notice, as I move my cursor, it gives me numbers on everything. So each side, this side represents palette that I put in here as I move around. So what I want to do is I want to pull my location sampler icon, and I pull it down to the selected color that I think the skin tone should look like. Drop it on that. What I have to do, I have to bring my color picker right here for location. So if you notice they're not moving around, the colors are not changing, because I selected the colors I need information on. So it's easy from here. Over back to info, you want right here where you have the color model here, I want to change that to RGB. I want to copy all this color right here and turn these into this color right here. Command M, that brings up curves. So I want to start with my red. I need to change 184 to 72. So you go up for more numbers and down for lower numbers. So here we want to drag it down to 72. So we slowly drag it down to 72. There we go. So now for my greens, 119. So let's do that. 119. Sorry, for my blue, bring that down to 90. And if we zoom out, you'll see a little difference. So I go ahead and just click off of the layer. So if I show the curves right here, you see a little difference. It gets a little darker. So I'm actually done here. So I will delete my skin palette and also the creative one. So now what I do is I'm going to add layers to this to make it a little, add some more character to it. So these two dots right here, you want to get rid of it by go back to info and hit arrow. Put it on the cursor right here, boom. So we done. So now I double tap on curves, and it's, as you see, it's in master, so I bring it down because I want to make it a little bit darker. So I pull it down just a tad bit, dark tone that I'm looking for, and I think this is perfect. I go down here to adjustments, and then I add brightness and contrast. So I will go up a little bit right here, and I might add a little bit of contrast to it. By using vibrance, I can bring it up and it doesn't affect much, but I don't want too much vibrant. Probably bring it up to sometime 20%, most 20%. The saturation I rarely touch. Let's leave it at 4%. Maybe bring the shadows up just a little bit to the same 20%. Sweet spot is 20%. This was the actual original image, and if I turn the curves on, it transforms, and then these are my added layers. You know, if you want it to be nice and sharp, I can add more stuff to it, but I think this is a great photo to give to the client. Well, that's how I get rich skin tones. I hope you learned something from this video. It's your boy, Mac Vizzy. I'm out.